Welcome to the She's a Lot interview series. I am so excited today to have one of my best friends in the whole world, Sarah Walters, sitting on my green couch in my house, and we're just doing this casual. That's why we've got the phone up on the little tripod. I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to be here.
You're like one of my favorite people on the planet.
I get to, if an interview is how I get to spend time with you, more time with you, let's do an interview every week.
Let's do an interview every single week.
Every week.
No, and it's so hard because I'm going to want to go off into tangents.
I know. Me too.
But you've got to get your kids. I've got to go get my kids from school in like an hour. So I want to dive in, okay?
Oh.
So you're one of these 12 badass women that I've chosen because I respect you. I look up to you. We have known each other for 20 years or something like that.
It's a long time.
And I just think that you're fantastic. What you're doing on especially social media with Front Porch Therapists is blowing me away, and I know it's making a big difference in people's lives. So we'll get you to tell us where to follow you and connect with you and all that. But first things first, tell the viewers a little bit about you and your story. Who is Sarah Walters?
Who is Sarah Walters? What a big question.
It's such a big question.
I am a mom of 3. Are we going there?
Yeah, we're going wherever you want to go.
Mom of 3 feisty girls. They're fun. I'm a therapist. I work with adults. I work a lot with anxiety, depression, trauma. So I own my own private practice called Good Life Counseling, and the way that I've gotten to express myself creatively and also feel like I'm of service to the larger world has been through social media and sharing concepts that I just think are helpful. Like
you are viral. You have all these people. I think she has a real blue check mark and she didn't pay for it. So as you look back on your journey, and I know that there have been twists and turns, but as you're looking at the high highs and the low lows, how did you navigate through all of the pain and all of the joys? Like, what is your process for survival and thriving?
That's a great question. I think if I were to look at my journey from a 50,000 foot view, I think that the theme of my journey has been, with each high and low, it's been these progressive, ever deepening seasons of learning to live more in my authenticity. And what I think a lot about is how, when we're born, we come out of the womb ourselves. We're in our essence, right? We're in our playfulness as children, and somewhere along the way, we learn that we can't feel certain things, or it's not safe to say things or to act certain ways, and so we progressively shut down on parts of ourselves that over time lead to a lot of dysfunction. And so there have been times when I have had my lows. A lot of times my lowest seasons were also the opportunities for me to heal, to reclaim the parts of myself that I had exiled out, and to expand and become more into the fullness of who I am, my own authenticity. And so it's almost like my lows, if you think of like birthing something, when you're
like
when you have a baby, birthing a book, birthing a baby, it's like with birthing something, you have these contractions where it's like painful, it hurts, and then it releases, and it's painful, and then it releases. And so my lows have been these almost contractions that I've learned in life. When I relax around the contraction, I can actually get to the other side, into the release. And with every contraction and painful season that I've had, on the other side of it, it's been like birthing something new. I'm coming more into my sense of joy or wonder, or reclaiming who I am. So, and the highs are the times when I've been most creative and felt most free. And I think we feel most free when we are fully ourselves, but we learn early on that it's not always safe to be.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
I know. And that's why, the series is called She's a Lot. And we'll get into more of that later, but it's tampering down those parts of ourselves that, okay, yeah, this is okay, this isn't okay, this personality is okay, this isn't, this emotion is bad, this emotion is good, etc., etc. You said something so powerful about like being, I don't remember how you phrased it, but being present with the contractions, or I don't know, like grow through the contractions.
Relaxing around.
Thank you, relaxing around the contractions. The acts and the act, that's what I picked up on. We need to write a song like that, about that. Sarah's an amazing singer. I remember when I first heard her sing, I didn't want to sing anymore because she was that good. I was like, no one else needs to sing in the whole world.
That's dramatic. But...
Have we met? Yeah, she's a lot. She's dramatic. So in my book, as you know, I write about the gifts of pain, trauma, conflict, loss, heartache, all of that stuff. How do you, you just explained it really well, but as you're going through those contractions, those highs and lows, what gift do you struggle with navigating the most?
Oh, man. In your book, a lot of the gifts that you talk about are the experiences that are most uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All of the things that you called gifts, you're spinning it to understand that you can actually embrace it. But they're the things that we most dislike in life.
They're the fucking worst.
They're the worst. And also, they're just part of being human.
Life. It's lifing.
If
life
you
is
live,
lifing.
You're going to experience all of this stuff.
Yep.
And so, it's been hard for me to navigate a lot of those things. I think that pain is a hard one for me, because I'm an Enneagram 7, and so I love...
No wonder we're best friends.
Yeah, I love adventure, I love excitement and shiny things, and it's all because I'm trying to avoid pain.
Yes.
And so I have had to learn how to sit with, be kind to the emotional pain really that shows up for me, the fear that shows up for me, and so I have learned to become a kind host to all of these things, like for that, my body, whatever's moving through me, whether it's pain or anger or sadness or emptiness, like how do I, learning, and I'm not awesome at it, but how to be a really kind and loving host to whatever is moving through.
Wow, a kind host to the pain. Why didn't I include that in the book? You'll have to include it in your book if you ever write a book, which you definitely should. So you're really good at giving advice. Like I have sought wise counsel from you for 2 decades. What advice would you give the people that are watching this? Not just being a kind host to the pain, but people that are struggling with such intense pain that they can't even see, they can't even see straight. There's no, I need to be a kind host to the pain. They are just drowning. They're barely surviving. They're overwhelmed, and they don't have anything left, and they can't see a way out.
Yeah. It's like the image I'm getting is when you are underwater. It's like the wave has hit you and you can't see, you're underwater, and you just have to wait for the wave to pass. And sometimes that's what happens in life, is you just get overwhelmed. There's nothing you can do except let go, wait it out, and float to the surface.
Damn. Why is that so hard?
Because it's hard.
How do you not get swallowed up by it? That's what I really struggle with, is if I let myself fully feel it, I'm so scared that it's going to swallow me whole, and that I will drown at the bottom of the ocean with the shipwrecked people and be eaten by sharks.
Yes.
That's what my anxiety tells me.
Yes. And you are not alone.
Thank you.
That is hands down, the most common response to when I am asking people to be courageous enough to feel whatever this is, they fear it will overwhelm them and it will take them under. And so it's kind of like, I think of the analogy of a dam. Like a dam. A dam! It holds back the water, right? If emotions are water, and it's like internally we have this protective part of us that's like a dam, and it holds it back, and we're afraid, like, if this dam breaks, it's gonna flood the whole fucking city.
Yeah.
And so what I have tried to do on my own self and with clients that I work with is we don't have to break the dam, right? But we can start cutting holes in it to start letting out some of that water so that we're slowly feeling things, but you work your way up to it. Right?
Wow.
So it's small ways to learn how to feel, because, and here's the other thing. I think that we think that we're feeling a lot of times because we know.
Say more.
I don't think we actually know how to feel our feelings.
100%.
We know that we're feeling something, but we don't know how to feel it because it feels like we are that feeling. And it's actually just something moving through us. It's an emotional energy that's moving through us. And so what I've had to do is to learn to actually get out of my head, because when we're feeling something, we usually go up to our brain and we say, how do I fix this feeling?
Is that like the amygdala hijack, or is that something different?
It can be.
Okay.
It can be. It's more like when we feel overwhelmed emotionally, we kind of go to this place of when you start ruminating, what can I do? How can I fix this? Right? We get stuck in our heads, and then we aren't actually present to the emotional energy that's wanting to move through us.
Ooh, that's good.
And so a lot of it is about reconnecting to the body. Do you like whenever you're feeling something, are you connected to what it feels like inside?
Yeah, and that's a big part of in the book. I write about how to feel a certain feeling. You first locate it. Where do you feel it in your body?
Yes.
So we are just on the same page. We are so on the same page.
Feeling it in the body, and not making a mental story about it and having to tell or figure it out, but just allowing yourself to be with whatever that thing is, to get neutral towards it. Just get a little more neutral towards it. It is.
I love the vision of a dam and pulling out maybe a brick or cutting a hole in it and letting it kind of come out a little bit at a time, because I tend to be the wrecking ball, and let's just like, the whole dam's gonna break, and that can be too overwhelming. Wow. What advice would you give someone looking to break away from the safety net of those patterns? Even though we hate those patterns, they're serving us a purpose, and making decisions that are aligned with our authentic self, which I know is your big thing, authenticity.
Yeah. It's a really good question. When I think of our habits and our patterns, what comes to mind is it's the ways we've learned to stay safe in the world, like what we do that we know works, that keeps us safe, keeps us alive, it helps us survive, we don't have to think about it. And but it's also, in continuing along with those habits or patterns, you also stay small, right? You can't change unless you expand beyond those patterns. One of the quotes that comes to mind is it's by Carl Jung, and he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you'll call it fate.
Oh, I love him.
So all of these, we tend to be in these habitual ways of being, and it's this unconscious way of being. And therapy is about becoming more self-aware of what we're doing, of waking up to our moments. And when we're awake, we can begin creating a new reality. But we have to understand why we do what we do and why this has helped us survive for so long. One of the things that I ask clients a lot is I say, who do you want to be?
Sarah Walters.
Who do you want to be?
I want to be Sarah Walters.
Not that. Who do you want to be? And a lot of times people will talk about who they want to be, but it's a different version of who they are. Which means to get to that, they have to let go of certain patterns or habits in order to expand into who they want to be. But what we have to do is learn how these certain habits and patterns actually have taken care of us. Like, it's like a Marie Kondo kind of thing. Like, I do this because I loved you at one point. You were really helpful for me at one point. You know, Marie Kondo, how like you got to get rid of stuff. Yeah.
Does this bring me joy?
Does this bring me joy? This dress was so great for me at one point. Like, I looked so good in it, but I've changed. My body has changed. It doesn't fit me anymore and who I'm becoming. And so I have to think it and send it to Goodwill or whatever, sell it. But it's the same thing with our own habits. Learn to see our habits and then also expand our sense of safety in order to take the risk to evolve. Because we only evolve and grow when we feel really safe to do so.
Wow.
Right? So our habits tend to keep us safe, but when we can gain, a lot of the work that I do with clients is about self-compassion. And that's about learning to create an inner environment of safety.
That's so hard.
You could,
but that's the thing. That's the solution.
Yes. And if you want to live into your authenticity, if you want to show up in the world as you have to feel safe enough inside to do that. So like risk can only be taken because we feel so safe inside. We can do that.
Wow.
Right? Or else we'll try to stay safe by trying to belong and be what everybody else wants us to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Everything outside of ourselves.
Yeah. Instead of feeling really safe inside of ourselves and risking to show up more authentically.
So when I find myself feeling safe internally, I'm still going to be addicted to cheese.
Yeah.
We just know that. And is that okay? So the interview series is called She's a Lot.
Yes.
Have you ever had somebody say to you, she's a lot, or she's too this, too angry, too passionate, too quiet, any type of she's too fill in the blank? Have you ever had those messages? And then how do you break away from the narrative if that doesn't align with who you are?
I absolutely have had, whether stated or unstated, I think all those messages are basically underneath all of it is something's wrong with that person.
Right. Yep.
Like something's wrong with you. And I've had those messages in whatever form they've come from. And I, being the golden child, learned how to do what everybody else expected me to do so that I could, please people. I'm a great people pleaser.
Same. Okay,
so all of those things fall into the category of something's wrong with me. The message, something's wrong with me. And this is where a lot of my own doing my own therapy has been extremely helpful for me to see and connect with all the different parts of me. Like inside of me, I am who I am. I feel what I feel. And some of the things are accepted by others, and some of the other things people are going to misunderstand, and they're going to say, hey, keep that away. And I think for me, learning to love on, relate to, allow for, giving permission for all of myself to be there, has been this like integrative experience inside. Again, it's feeling safe inside. Like I can be fully human. I can be confident, and I'm also insecure.
Yeah.
And I'm even as a therapist, like that at one point I remember I needed to project into the world this like more serious, right? This more serious kind of person. But I'm like really dorky.
You're such a goofball.
I'm
love that.
so goofy.
I love that about
and I'm
you.
wild, and I like laughing. And so it took me a long time to even sit in session and be who I am, right?
Wow.
And for years it was like I need to portray this certain way, and honestly, like I don't think people liked it. I think people, when I'm uncomfortable, it makes other people uncomfortable.
Well, when you're living in your authenticity, it gives us permission to live in ours.
That's it. free people, free people.
Ooh, free people, free people.
Girl. And so the more that I have felt the freedom to be wise and also sometimes immature.
Yes. We wouldn't be friends if you weren't a little bit immature sometimes.
Yes. It's all of it. And I think I've seen, though, that some people love it and it's setting people free. The more that I can show up as myself.
Yeah.
And some people hate it.
And that's
some people
fine.
are really uncomfortable.
Move on.
Yeah.
So everyone that watches this is going to be as obsessed with you as I am and have always been since we first met back at Chili's. Why did we go to Chili's for our first meeting?
Because Chili's was great back then. Awesome Blossom, give it to me.
No, Awesome Blossom is at Outback, right?
Yes, you're right.
We had the skillet queso.
Yeah, we did.
We had the skillet queso, and I was like, "Oh,
you mentored me."
Okay,
you were my mentor.
We'll put that in quotes. I don't know if that's what you want to call it.
I would not be who I am today had I not met you.
You're gonna make me cry if I cried about stuff like that. Aww, that's really sweet.
Oh, really?
No, I feel the same way about you. We've just had this,
You have been an expander to me.
Thank you.
Because
have you.
I talk about living in my authenticity. That is what you have been doing. And as I've seen you do that and seen you walk forward in the courage and writing a book and gosh, it gives me the power to dream, to say, maybe I could write a book.
Oh, 100% you have to.
You being free frees me.
Oh my gosh. I just want to hug you. How do we connect with you? Tell us we're going to put the hashtags in your IG handle or whatever, but how do people stay connected to you?
Yeah. So therapy-wise, I own a private practice called Good Life Counseling. I also work with an associate, so we have a team of people. The website is www.goodlifecounselingaustin.com. It is a mouthful.
It's okay though.
Good Life Counseling Austin. And then socials. It's Front Porch Therapist on Instagram. So front.porch.therapist. You can find me on Instagram. I'm going to be hosting some workshops on how to feel your feelings.
Yes.
Because I think feeling your feelings is the road to authenticity.
Ooh, I love it.
So,
we want to know all about the workshops. I need a workshop. So my call to action today, it's based on something that you said. You asked a question. Who do you want to be? So my call to action for the viewer or the listener is to take 5-10 minutes after you watch this, if possible, and either record a voice memo about your answer to that question, write it down. I hesitate to use the word journal because so many people are like, I don't like journaling. Call it writing on a piece of paper then. I don't care what you call it. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Get curious about that, and I think it'll be interesting what comes up for people. There's 16 chapters, the gift of blank. What would you add, if you could add a chapter, what would you add? The gift of blank, and why?
I thought about this one. I don't know that I have a really good answer, but I have an answer.
That's great.
I might add the gift of uncertainty.
Yes, say more.
I think most of us feel safe in certainty. But certainty also kills possibility.
Wow.
And so sometimes, the uncertainty in life is the thing that allows for possibility and dreaming. And so uncertainty is not a bad thing. It is. And when we try to kill it, we kill with it adventure. When we kill uncertainty for certainty, we kill life. There's so much life and adventure in the realm of uncertainty. There's so I don't know. I think maybe
I love that. The unknown, uncertainty. Yeah, if you squelch uncertainty, you squelch life, is what you just said. And that's because the only thing that we know is certain about life is that it will be uncertain. And it will be filled with so much shit, and life will keep lifing. But we can redeem a little bit of it by finding gifts in the midst of life's shit. Sarah Walters, I just have to hug you.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for letting me interview you.
I think I just spilled coffee.
That's fine. That's fine. It makes my butt look bigger.
Thanks for interviewing me. This was fun.
This is so fun.
I love you.
Yay. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. I needed to like pause because if I just really
Shit.
Worth
it.
mark, I'm a blue check mark. Yeah, I commandeered this area of the couch, so
That's
you
fine.
can't. But then if I go down, you can go down. Then I'm gonna go up.
We can both be there.
We can both be here. Yeah.
Coffee talk.
With Lindsay Richmond. Give you a topic. The Cold War with neither cold nor reward. Discuss.
So are we facing each other, or am I looking at them?
No, we're just gonna like have a conversation.
Just like this? Really close?
I don't even know where I was going with that because I screwed up on the thing with the couch. What were we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here because I need to read this question. You look amazing.
Stop
You look
it.
so amazing.
Okay, cut this out. And then
Okay.
Okay, that's
There's gonna be outtakes.
That's stuck. Cut
It's
it out.
perfect. Keep going.
Cut it.
I love it. I love it.